In this video, we're going to talk about freezing your greens to use later. You'll get a lot of kale, spinach, mustard, beet, and other greens in your CSA in the spring. You may not be able to eat all of it in 1 week, or you may just choose to put them away for later so that you have something convenient to use in a recipe or serve as a side. I'm going to show a couple of ways to prepare spinach and beet greens for freezing. First, you want to wash everything very well by dunking it in water. Even a little bit of sandy grit will ruin your greens, so rinse it in cold water, remove the greens from your big bowl or other container of water, put it in a colander and look for grains of sand in the water. If you see any, dump the water out and repeat this process as many times as you need to. Another thing I like to do is label my bags with the date and the contents. I get some nice thick heavy-duty freezer bags so that these will keep for a while. And when you put the date and the contents on there, you know exactly what you're grabbing out of the freezer. It may not be so recognizable later, but this way you can keep everything organized, and when you're looking for something to serve, you know exactly what's in the bag. Once your greens are clean, you can simply cut them up, chop them into bite-sized pieces, and put them in a bag. Here I have some beet greens. These are edible. They're related to spinach, and you can cook them in a lot of the same ways that you would cook spinach. And they have lots of vitamins in them. And I think they look really pretty too with the red mid vein. So it's an attractive green. And I'm just kind of chopping it into 1-inch pieces about here. I'm going to stick these pieces right in this bag. This method is appropriate if you're going to use your greens within the next 3 to 4 weeks. It's not great for long-term storage, but it's fine if you just have a little extra, or you know you're going out of town that week, or you just want to have it convenient to grab within the next couple of weeks to serve with dinner or use in a recipe, something like that. So this is quick and easy, but just remember it's not going to keep them for a long time. They could get freezer burned if you don't use them within the next month or so. Once I have everything chopped up and added into the bag, one final step is that I like to compress everything down as small as it'll go and squeeze any air out of the bag. Getting all of the air out is going to help prevent freezer burn. The second method I'm going to show you involves blanching the greens first, and this is good if you want to keep them for a longer period of time, or if you need some that are already cooked a little bit in order to use in a recipe. I like to do this for spinach that I'm planning to use for a quiche, but it's also really convenient if you want to be able to thaw your spinach out and just serve it with dinner without having to do anything else. So it takes a few minutes more of prep work, but what you have in the freezer will keep a lot longer, and it's a lot easier to get ready to serve later. I'm just filling a pan with water, and you saw that I got an ice bath prepared earlier. I'm just going to bring some water to a boil. This is enough to cover everything that I have if I kind of squish it down into the pan. Once that's at a full rolling boil, add the spinach. Just stick it in there by the handful. Make sure it gets submerged under the water. It'll cook down quite a bit to a smaller volume as you go. And once it's all in there, set a timer for about 3 minutes. After about 3 minutes, this is nice and soft, and I'm going to use some tongs to just transfer it into a bowl of ice water. You can leave it in there for about a minute. This little dunk in ice water is called shocking, and we do this in order to stop the cooking process and keep your spinach looking nice and green. After it's been shocked, I bring the whole bowl over to the sink and just take everything out into the colander, let it drip dry, but then also I just gently press to get the rest of the water out. Now I'm going to take my pre-labeled Ziploc bag and just put that handful of spinach in there. This is a little small for dinner, but it's about 1 serving for me. I eat a lot of spinach, and it's about the right amount that you could use in a recipe like a quiche. So it's perfect for that, and if you do several of these, then you can just grab as many as you need. There you go. This is ready to go into the freezer and keeps for up to a year.